So the next two kits that we have are the Forget-Me-Not kits. We have the white Forget-Me-Not planter kit and the white Forget-Me-Not kit. So the white Forget-Me-Not kit comes in this lovely 12cm ribbed Simona terracotta pot and its matching saucer. And then the planter comes in a new planter pot that we actually bought in last month, which has this really kind of delicate, detailed scallop pattern around the rim, and it's just, yeah, a really lovely sized pot, much like the other planter is. So yes, so this is a sort of a second month going for this new planter that we have. And these are the Forget-Me-Nots. So, you know, they're a flower or a plant that we're all so familiar with. You know, as I said before, you see them on the pavement, usually in blue, but they look so gorgeous planted, and they work so nicely with terracotta and the moss. And yeah, I just think they're a really sort of subtle, classic, understated plant that just creates a really beautiful rustic kit. And yeah, I just think they're just really charming, and sort of they feel quite sort of Eastery, quite spring-like to me. Okay, so we'll do the planter first. So in your kit you'll have your pot and your saucer, your gravel, your compost, your moss, 3 Forget-Me-Not plants and your birch twigs. So we'll start with the gravel that you pop into your pot once it's on its saucer. Doesn't need loads, much like the ranunculus. And then you're going to add in a sprinkle, maybe one sort of trowelful or a couple of handfuls of compost that you're then going to sort of press down into the gravel. Okay, and that forms our base for where our plants are going to sit. Now, when you get your Forget-Me-Nots, you might find there's sort of the odd kind of leaf that needs taking off. So just pinch that out. And if any that look a bit sort of bruised, or if they've got sort of cuts or rips in them, just take them out. I mean, you don't have to, but you know, just if you want to neaten up your plant slightly. Give them a really good drink, and then gently take them out. Again, much like with the ranunculus, just sort of tease the roots at the bottom a little bit, just loosen them up, and then plant them, as again with the ranunculus planter, at an angle. So not upright, at an angle. So not like that, plant them like that, and they just sit a lot nicer, in my opinion, in the planter. Move that around. Now these are really fresh, they came in yesterday, so there's not tons of floral, but there are lots and lots of buds. I'm looking at like clusters and clusters now. So you'll find, so loosening up the roots slightly, and then in at an angle, so you'll find that it will flower considerably more over the next few weeks. You will also find that they relax into the pot. Okay, so filling in those 3 gaps with a decent amount of compacted compost. So you pop some in, push it down, more in, push it down, because this is where the nutrients are going to come from. We don't want the sort of lots of air pockets around. Move the leaves to the side if you can. Whoop. So filling in the gaps, making sure it's nicely compacted. So as the days go on, once you've planted up your kits, you'll find that they do sort of rest and relax into their sort of environment, I guess. So you'll find that with all the new growth and the the buds that then flower, they'll take up more space in the planter. And then if you can get a little bit in the middle, try and fill that hole in the middle of the planter, pushing it down. Okay. So now we can start, oh gosh, horrible noise, start adding in the moss into the gaps. So I'm going to go in with some flat moss in that gap, and then some bun moss around here, and some sphagnum as well. And then before I put the birch in, what you can do is very, very gently just tease your plant out. Because when it's comes in transit to you, when it comes in transit to us, it's obviously packed very securely and is sort of very upright. But if you start to just loosen it up a bit, it just gets it on its way, just to kind of into its planter. But if you are worried you're going to break or snap something, then just wait. There's no rush. It will relax in its own time. But as you can see, I've just done it a little bit, very gently, and it just sort of starts to relax. Okay, now we can add in the birch, and I'll probably, just add in a few, maybe 5 or 6 little stems of birch. There we go. Okay, so that's the planter. And now we can move on to the forget-me-not kit, which is just a single gorgeous little forget-me-not. So adding in your ruffle to the bottom of the pot. And then a little bit of compost just at the bottom. And then push that down. And then after watering, adding in, or taking out, sorry, I'm just taking off this one leaf that's just a bit looking past its best. Just gently taking it out of the plant pot. There's another leaf there. And then popping it straight in to your pot. I think it's just such a lovely, cute little sort of styling element for your house, or, you know, a really beautiful gift, an unusual thing to receive. Adding in the compost on top and around, gently pushing it down around the edges. Okay, and now we can add it in our compost. So I'm just going to put some flat moss in little sort of sections, so breaking it up. Again, taking off any leaves that are slightly damaged or looking past their best. some bun moss in around the back, and then some sphagnum moss as well. Okay, and then popping in some birch. If you want to do the same as we did for the planter, where you just sort of loosely and very gently sort of tease the plant outwards, you can. Another thing to note actually is if you have any sort of flowers that have gone over, you simply pinch out. So actually let's go through that now. So if you have a little white flower that's gone brown, which you will get as it sort of regenerates itself, you do something which is called pinching out. So you will take that little flower and its stem up to where it meets another stem that's healthy and still going, and you simply pinch it with your sort of nails. It's quite satisfying, and you just take it off like that. So that's called pinching out. That then encourages the plant, as with the ranunculus, to use its energy to make the plant, to make the new buds bloom, basically. Sorry, got there in the end. So I can see here there's lots of little buds that are just green. They haven't even, you know, started to open yet. Lots of little clusters of them. By pinching out sort of some of the flowers that have gone over, like that one has. So I'm just pinching with my 2 fingers to where it meets the healthy stem, just pinching it off. That will then encourage new growth and encourage the buds to bloom, so you get more flowers. Okay, let's pop these birch twigs in. So with watering your forget-me-nots, whether it's the planter or the little forget-me-not kit, they take probably more water than the ranunculus do. I would keep them sort of damp, sort of consistently damp, not soaking, not soggy, just, you know, keep it well watered. If you find that water goes into the saucer, I would then drain that sort of saucer water out so that there's no sort of roots or anything sat in that water. But yeah, keep it well watered, that you will be able to tell with a forget-me-not especially, because the leaves are so sort of like juicy is the word that is in my head, but I don't try to think of another word, but it's gone. They are quite sort of, they're full of water, the leaves. So it needs a lot of water. Sorry, it's not eloquent at all. But yeah, just keep watering it, basically. And if it's looking sort of droopy or tired, give it a nice water. And keep it somewhere as sunny as possible. So they like lots of sun. Windowsills are great. You know, if you have a south-facing room, keep it in there. But yeah, or you can obviously keep it in the garden on your tables outside. It's beautiful. It's, you know, a lovely thing to have in the centre of a table if you're eating, or just, you know, having a cup of coffee in the garden. So yeah, just a really lovely, delicate, rustic spring kit, and I hope you enjoy them both.